Why do you think your dreams and your goals are delusional? We always throw out this delulu word like it's a bad thing, but in all actuality, anyone who's successful is highly, highly delusional. And just to prove this, I'm going to insert some iconic clips of celebrities being delusional.
I got fired today. Either way, I'm gonna be straight.
I put my heart and my soul into this mixtape. I bared my life. I went through so much. I dedicated myself to sobriety, and God told me that I would be rewarded and that He would show me just how good it can get.
I think tomorrow, I'm just gonna go to a whole bunch of like studios, record label companies. Like, I'm just gonna go in and ask, who gives a fuck? At this, I have nothing to lose. I literally have nothing to lose. I have no place. I have no job. I have no children. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? Who fucking cares? I'm just gonna do it.
You are exactly who you need to be right where you are, and I am a testimony.
I was 18 telling everyone around me, I'm gonna be a superstar, and everybody's going, yeah, whatever, she's an egomaniac, and then, haha.
I'm gonna need you to bring out your journal, bestie. Bring it out, okay? Because today I'm going to be going over the 3 M's to a quick but highly effective glow up in 30 days. The mindset, the method, and the madness. The madness, I'm just going to be talking about how being delusional is actually a good thing and you can use it to your advantage so long as you actually take action. First things first is the mindset of a glow up. We already talked about reinventing yourself. This is not reinventing yourself. This is literally just leveling up to the highest version of yourself. And oftentimes people get it confused. Babe, you don't need to reinvent yourself in order to level up. Got it? Yes, some eras of your life do call for a reinvention, but other times you just want to have a little spice to your life, and there's nothing wrong with that. So go ahead and subscribe, but this video is sponsored by me, girl, because I actually made you guys a $10 ebook that you guys can go grab. Go grab it. It's in my free Get Your Shit Together community. I'm not going to ramble on too long about that. We're just going to get straight into the tips. I feel sad to admit this, but sometimes I don't feel like that girl, okay? I go through periods of my life where I'm just not feeling like myself. I feel super out of touch with myself. So how do you get back into the mindset of leveling up when you're getting into that stagnant period where you don't feel like yourself? Let me tell you, it's actually very normal to not go through periods where you always feel confident about yourself. Confidence is marketed as this thing where it's either you have it or you don't. You can have confidence and still be a little bit insecure. That's okay. I believe in identifying the root problem. So explore that insecurity. This need and desire to level up can often be confused as this repression of who you actually are. Do a self-audit. Pay attention to the certain people in your life, how they make you feel, any repeating thought patterns throughout the day, because there's some thoughts that we think of more than others, the tasks that you typically avoid, and then whatever other small shit that you're just like, I want to improve it, but I don't know how to improve it. I'm going to call you out. You're not in a lazy girl era. You're choosing to be lazy. Take personal responsibility for that because it's not going anywhere. Your choice to just sit around and be lazy is affecting future you's opinion of who you are now. Future you is going to blame, oh, I just wasn't that motivated in the past. You know, I could have done this, but you know, excuses, excuses, excuses. Future you is blaming you now. Ask yourself what the version of yourself you're trying to become is, and act like her. This is not fake it till you make it. This is embodying the version of yourself that you've been trying to become. Because the more you do things that confirm the reality you want, the closer you get to timeline jumping. And what do I mean by a timeline jump? There are certain days of your life where you know something just shifted. You just know it. You don't know how, you don't know why, but something within you stops going back to those old patterns. But until then, you gotta fight off that demon. That lazy demon, that's you. That's you, babe. This is the mindset of a successful person. Stop giving yourself excuses and be grateful for where you're at. I'm not saying this to be mean, I'm saying this to be realistic. Now, on the other hand, you need to look at those limiting beliefs, right? You're insecure. Why? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Ask yourself throughout the day, what am I thinking? what am I feeling? For example, let's say you're a student and you're walking around campus and that particular day you felt really insecure about your body. As you're walking around, any person you make eye contact with, you automatically think they're giving you a dirty look. Some of the things you think aren't valid. Your thoughts shouldn't control every single thing you do. A person who is solely controlled by what they think is a weak-minded person. You think you should text your ex, so you do. You think that person's judging you, so you run to the bathroom and cry. You think that nobody will accept you if you go to that event. You see how you're limiting yourself because you don't know. You're just taking that thought as fact. But what if instead you just question that thought? You just went, okay, where is this coming from? Why do I feel like that person looking at me was because they think I look ugly or they think this? No, that's not what they think. You're just assuming that that's what they think because you were already hypercritical of yourself from the jump. This is a very hard pill to swallow, but it's something that I had to realize myself. I was giving myself excuses not to level up and not to go to certain things because I feared judgment so heavily that I believed that what other people thought about me was true. Not everything everyone thinks about you is true. Most of us, that sounds really obvious, but in the moment when we're fearing judgment from people, what we're really doing is assuming what they're thinking. Question your negative thought patterns and insecurities, because the only way you can get to the root of why you don't change your life and why you don't level up is by looking at the way you act and asking yourself if it's building you a better life. This is a different mindset, but it's a mindset necessary in order to push through resistance, because in this 30 days, when you go into this level up journey, you're going to have resistance to certain things. Why? The old beliefs that you've held about yourself are going to be questioned because, wait, I am capable. I am strong. I am going to the gym. I am that girl. You see what I mean? Here is the level up method. Number 1, choose an area of your life to focus on. It can be 2 areas of your life or it can be 1. Trying to focus on everything gets you nothing. Oftentimes, the reason why people get discouraged when they try to level up their life in 30 days or try these different New Year's challenges, which I bet you're at that point right now where you're burnt out, you tried a challenge, it didn't work, or it might have worked. But this is why people start to get really discouraged around this time of the year. The glitter wore off, life starts to feel dull, you stop believing in yourself because you've had a couple of cheat days, whatever the case is. You need to hold yourself accountable when you fail, because in the moments you fail are actually the most essential to leveling up. The reason we retreat back to bad habits is not a conscious reason. It's very subconscious because we're craving comfort. Sometimes we do it and we literally know we're doing it, but we still do it anyways, and then we guilt ourselves for it. But you need to hold yourself accountable through the form of rewards. I've talked about this in other videos, okay? I have talked about this in other videos, but we're going to talk about it again because it's important. There's extrinsic motivation, intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic makes you feel good from the inside and all fuzzy. Extrinsic motivation is, I look like a baddie. You get the point, right? Extrinsic motivation comes from outside sources. Intrinsic motivation comes from what's inside of you. Extrinsically, you can be motivated by a lot of things. Most of the time, people are motivated by other people acknowledging them. It is okay to do something for external validation, so long as it's not the only motivator you have. Extrinsic motivations are like quick fuel, whereas intrinsic motivations are long-term energy. It's like having a meal versus having candy. Have a motivator that's based in reality. For example, you can go get your nails done. You can go do something nice for yourself. You can go buy that thing you've been wanting. Whatever the case is, give yourself a reward and write it down and bring it back at the forefront of your mind when you think about going back to that bad habit. Very important step. Next thing you gotta do is you gotta think about who you want to become, because that's gonna be your intrinsic motivation. A lot of people, when they want to level up their life, they do so for the wrong reasons. And not that those motivators can't push you to a point at first. For example, if you're going to the gym because you want your revenge body, that's completely fine. I don't think that's a negative thing at all, to be honest. Yes, it can get to the point where it's negative, but in my personal opinion, whatever energy you're currently in, whether that's anger, sadness, fear, you work with what you have because you need to transmute it. It's better to acknowledge the emotion you're feeling than to suppress it and act like you're leveling up your life in love and light. When you're at a point where you don't believe in anything, you don't trust anyone, and you literally are not okay, it is not the time to be like, love and light. I love myself. Like, yes, it's important to love yourself, but how do you show you love yourself? I know I would rather crash out and break windows and dishes, but instead, I'm gonna go to the gym because I know all of this anger I have needs to be directed towards something. And my future self will thank me. But your intention does matter to an extent. For example, if you are solely going to the gym because someone stared at you and you felt really insecure about it, you're not leveling up your body for them. You're leveling it up for you. And the second that you start to think that it's for other people, that's when you need to bring yourself back to that intrinsic motivation, which is extremely important. Write down extrinsic, intrinsic motivations. The next method is the alter ego method. When you feel this lazy version of yourself coming out, you need to activate your new version of yourself. And this is how you do it. Close your eyes and visualize this new version of yourself. What does he or she do every day? What does he or she look like? How does he or she carry themselves? How does he or she talk? Open your eyes, write this stuff down. Write down the details of who you would be if you had no limitations on who you are. What would you do for work? If you were a Pinterest board, what would your Pinterest board look like? This is silly, but it's painting a picture of how you're going to level up your life. And this doesn't have to be in some crazy way. This can literally just be, I'm going to start waking up and doing some meal prep instead. You know, I spend way too much time in the morning making breakfast. I just want to have something meal prep. That way I can wake up and have enough time to do what I'm doing, right? And this is where we get into the madness part. You need to talk to yourself. Like, you need to do affirmations every single day. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when you're repeating to yourself, oh my God, I'm so lazy, I'm so tired, your words have meaning. Back to what I said at the beginning of the video. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Sometimes we have repeating thoughts about ourselves that constantly come up. I'm so clumsy. I'm so awkward. I'm so messy. What are those things that you know are bad traits of yourself that you just don't like and you want to change, but you feel stuck in your ways? What are those repeating thoughts and what do they make you feel? Saying that you're messy makes you feel powerless, but saying that you're choosing to be messy makes you feel embarrassed. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Sometimes our feelings are meant to reveal parts of ourselves that we want to change. Feeling embarrassed and making a change to do better is the best way to go about that negative emotion of embarrassed. The worst emotions I've been through have transformed me. I've had the most insane realizations, not at the highest points of my life, but at the lowest points of my life where I didn't think I was going to make it out and I didn't understand why this was going on. Because it taught me about my resilience and it taught me how to be strong. It taught me how to believe in myself. Repeat in the mirror, I believe in myself. I got this. Like, truly believe, like when you truly believe that you're that girl, what would that girl do? Nobody is forcing you to become the version of yourself that you want to be. Nobody is coming to save you. There's not someone who's going to do that work for you. You got to be able to look at yourself in the eyes and be like, I'm that girl. I don't care that I fell back on this habit. I'm still that girl and I'm still going to get up and try again because why? Future me is not about to blame me for her failure. With that being said, besties, go ahead and check out the Get Your Shit Together community. I just launched my 30-day level up ebook, but I revamped it. I gave you guys worksheets to fill out. That way it's more interactive for you and your level up journey. I also still have the 21-day devoted challenge over on my community as well. That's guided videos and worksheets every single day, so go ahead and check that out. But please let me know how you feel about this video down in the comments. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe. Also, y'all, turn on my post notifications because YouTube plays with me, okay? Sometimes they like me, sometimes they don't. So with that being said, besties, I love you guys so much and I'll see you guys next week.